and welcome to Squad, your source for everything esports and gaming. We have a great day for you planned, so here's the rundown. Marissa and Brody are at it again, so we're gonna see who's gonna actually press the mute button in Unmuted. Then we have some fire plays in place of the week, and in Esports in 30, Slacked and MoMo is joining us to talk CWL. But first, you know how it goes. Here's the news and reported. In a shocking upset, Seoul Dynasty has beaten New York Excelsior to advance to the Stage 1 playoff semifinals in the Overwatch League. The Dynasty was seeded 7th after they lost to San Francisco Shock in a tiebreaker match, while the Excelsior has an undefeated record in the regular season and was the second overall seed. Dynasty nearly swept Excelsior 3-0, but a last-minute save on Velskaya Industries kept New York in the game long enough to end the series 3-1. Seoul will face the #1 seeded Vancouver Titans tomorrow to see if they can pull off another huge upset. League of Legends fans looking to attend the 2019 Mid-Season Invitational now know where exactly they'll be traveling to. Riot Games has revealed the venue locations for the year's first major international tournament, and this time it'll be split between 3 cities. The first leg will take place in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, before heading north for the second leg in Hanoi. For the knockout stage, the tournament will head to Taipei. Tickets will go on sale on March 25th, and trust me, if you want to go, you're going to need plenty of luck and some quick fingers to grab some before it sells out. One of the biggest North American esports orgs is jumping on the Apex Legends hype train. Cloud9 announced that it has signed a 4-man squad to play the popular Battle Royale under its banner. The team consists of PvPX, Grego, Frex, and Chappie. Apart from PvPX, the remaining 3 players have all played for other Cloud9 teams in some form or another, including Overwatch and PUBG. Though there's no official esports competition in the works, that hasn't stopped teams from recruiting players to play Apex Legends for them. The next beta for Mortal Kombat 11 is coming very soon. NetherRealm announced that the beta will begin at 8 AM Pacific time on March 28th and will end at just before 12 on the 31st. The beta will include 5 playable characters: Baraka, Jade, Cabal, Scarlet, and Scorpion. It's a small section of the roster, but there are plenty of modes to try. In addition to online multiplayer, the single-player Towers of Time mode will be unlocked, and players can test out the custom character system as well. The beta is only available for those who have pre-ordered the game, so if you want a sneak peek, you're gonna have to fork up some cash. Ooh, yes, Mortal Kombat beta. That was a nice, spicy announcement. I know a lot of people have been waiting for that. I can't wait to get my hands on and really explore the story, so I'll get a little dabble of that because I want to know how that time manipulation thing goes, like the older versions fighting their newer versions. It's going to be great. Let us know if you'll be checking out the beta on our socials at Squad State. In a bit, we have plays of the week, but first, let's see what Marissa and Brody are arguing about this time in Unmuted. Welcome to Unmuted. We got the esports, we got the gaming, we got the opinions, we got the Marissa, Roberto, and the Brody Morris.
And the spies and me at the ball. If you're new here, that's cool. This is how the show is going to work. Producer Tyler will throw 2 minutes on the board, and Rob and I will each present topics and we'll each express our opinions over them.
Okay, that's cool. And at any point, one of us can mute the other using this here mute button, and the other person has to shut up for 30 seconds. Got it, dummy?
Yeah, shut up.
Okay.
All right.
Let's kick it out for stories with the battle between Battle Royales. Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney said in an interview with VentureBeat that Fortnite's player count was unaffected by the launch of Apex Legends. He even said that Apex Legends has helped re-energize Fortnite by making more people play shooters, and that Fortnite was very close to reaching 250 million players. Brody, do you believe what he's saying? Is there room for both of these to succeed, and are they really rivals?
I think we got a few topics on them, so I'll spread my opinions over 4 minutes in this case.
No, I will mute you.
But well, we have to fill 4 minutes at least.
Just
so
go.
let me talk. Okay,
God.
Epic Games. Right now, They're doing, it seems a little sketchy on their
Okay, so far you
their-
offered me
their
zero
platform.
insight. Can you continue, please?
So right now, their numbers are definitely not real numbers. Those are not active players. Those are accounts that have been made. Those could be bots. Those could be people getting banned and then making new accounts. Those could be people playing split screen. All those numbers count.
Are you accusing Epic Games of fooling shareholders?
No, they're not fooling share numbers. They're giving real numbers. They're just not being fully transparent on what those numbers mean. They just said players. They didn't say active players. So their actual user base could have dropped, but they don't want people to know that, right? Now, on the point of just shooters being inflated overall because of Apex and that, yeah, that could be a very valid thing. There could be more people playing BRs and by nature, people moving over to Fortnite as well, just because of that. So I think overall, yes, he's right. And Fortnite was good for the gaming industry in the sense that it brought more people into it.
For sure, it completely broadened our reach.
Could be helping out Fortnite. So in that, he could be right. It's the other thing that could be a little sketchy.
Well, what's the other thing? Oh, the
numbers.
The number. Okay, that he wasn't being honest. Maybe. No, I do agree that both games can actually indeed help each other because yes, it just means more eyeballs on the gaming industry. It means more people playing. And you know what? Like when you're squatting up with friends, like yeah, you can squat up in Fortnite, but hey, we're done with this now. Why don't we play some Apex? We're all together. We all have the game. It was all free for all of us. Why not jump in together? I do agree with him. I like that it just kind of helps the industry just in general. And I feel like he doesn't need to lie. They make a lot of money. Who cares?
Or maybe he's saying that because there is actually a problem. He doesn't want people to think there's a problem, but we got to move on. By staying on this topic, speaking of Epic Games, the Epic Games Store is getting some more timed exclusives later this year. At the GDC, Epic announced that Obsidian Entertainment's The Outer Worlds will be exclusive to its storefront on the Windows Store on PC. 12 exclusives were announced in total, including Frogwares, The Sinking City, and Remedy's Control. Now, they're buying up everything. They're buying up everything right now. Is this good that they're just stealing all the exclusives? I mean, I guess consoles do it too.
Yeah, they're not stealing if they bought them.
Well, originally Elder Worlds said it was coming to Steam. On the original announcement, there was a Steam logo in the bottom there, but now it's not going to Steam. Well, I think a year later, but it's like it's kind of frustrating to the gamers. They're like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to pre-order this. I'm ready to play this game
honestly,
on Steam.
Are you
and now,
really that frustrated that you can't play a game that you wanted to play until a year later? Like, whatever. Like, yeah, sure. I'm going to mention Animal Crossing again. Yeah, sure. I want to play Animal Crossing right now.
You for mentioning Rocket League.
Shut up! God, you're so annoying. No, obviously, I'm going to mention it just for my point, okay? Because we have a lot of games out there. We have a lot of things to play. Do you know The Division just came out? Are you aware of everything else that's out there right now? We can play Apex, we can play Fortnite, we can play a lot of other things. It's okay that this game is maybe holding off on your precious Steam. Like, everything is gonna be fine, Brody Moore. Don't worry about a darn thing. We good. We're gonna wait for Animal Crossing like everybody else. You can talk now.
Can I talk now?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think the real question comes is, do you think this is going to save their platform? Because their software is trashed here.
What?
Like it's garbage. Like there's nothing on there. It's like the only good real platform on PC right now is Steam. Like that actually has full features. So they're trying to get exclusive to save their platform, to save their store. But it's garbage. Like why not just actually add features to it? That's my question. Do you think the exclusives can save their platform, or are people going to be like, nah, screw this, there's no features?
Okay, well, to that point, do have exclusives saved, like Sony, have exclusives saved. You know what I mean? Like, because we have these exclusives to actually make sure that the gamer pays for that platform, right? So I feel like in this world now, we're getting to a point where there's not really going to be exclusives anymore, right? So we all need to kind of dive into that world, and everyone needs to play that game.
Also, on those numbers, real quick thing here, a lot of people are saying they're trying to sign up for the Epic Games Store, and their emails are already being used, which means bots are signing up. So those 85 million people on their store, not real people.
Holy, why don't you keep stirring that conspiracy theory pot while we move on to the next one. At a Q&A this week, Overwatch lead hero designer Jeff Goodman said that the team regularly discusses whether to add pick ban system to the game. That's interesting. Though there are no plans to add it right now, pick ban could be a way to deal with the ever-growing roster of heroes. So, Brody, do you think a pick ban system would work in Overwatch, first of all?
Yeah, so I've always been a fan, straight up, disclaimer, always been a fan of pick bans. I think deepens the meta.
Yep.
It deepens the player interaction. Now, that's going to be a really long ban pick phase for 6 players per team. So I'm not sure if I want it in Overwatch. And like, those characters already have a lot of depth. There's so many abilities on each character, plus their ults in that. Like, it's not like you're taking vanilla characters and then doing like one ability.
You don't have to follow the exact system that like League has in place, or I mean, even like R6, you can just kind of do your own thing. I'm sure they're discussing it, how to make it their own, and Overwatch League can do that. Like, what if it's just one from each genre, like one DPS, one support? You know what I mean? Like, why can't we just do it like that?
I think what I would really like about this is right now you have just the meta shifts so much, and then everyone just plays that meta, right? There's no real diversity right now at the top level. It's like, okay, this is the meta, every team plays that meta, and they don't deviate too far from it. So what this would do if you had bans is now you actually have to diversify a bit, and it would introduce, I think, a bit more entertaining top-level play, because it's not just the same strats being run over and over again. You're going to see new and creative things happen. So on that sense, again, it's going to be a long ban pick phase because of how many people there are, but I do actually think that it could make the top-level meta a little more exciting.
It
so
could be
I'm kind of on board, actually.
Really interesting to see if, say, one game that you play with each team that you're playing against, you can't play with any support, or you can't play with any tank. Like, changing it up that way where it has a real shift in the meta, or you're only playing DPS.
That just doesn't sound fun, though.
Why? What do you mean? Why not?
I mean, I always roll all DPS. If I can, everyone on my team, DPS, please.
So why not have one game that you play against each team that's all DPS?
All right, we'll figure it out.
It'll ban this whole
figure it out
thing.
later, because we're done on this one, but we're keeping with Blizzard, of course. In Hearthstone news, Blizzard will not be banning Hearthstone Pro player Roger from the HEC 2019 World Championship, despite his rule violations. Roger was caught watching a delayed broadcast along with his Chinese Taipei at a tournament in October and was accused of win trading earlier that year. Blizzard said that Roger will be punished, but that he earned a spot at the championship on his own merit. So Marissa, do you think this punishment is valid? Like, he's not getting punished for the tournament that he didn't cheat getting into, but he will be punished afterwards. Now what that is,
well,
who knows,
because
but
they're
it's
saying
like,
he didn't technically cheat to get into the tournament.
into this one. Should he be punished for this one though? Or since he got in on his own merit, is that fair? Like, this is a tricky one.
Okay,
or maybe just fined.
Okay,
or banned.
obviously, listen, obviously he means a lot to Blizzard. Number one, he means a lot to this tournament. He means a lot to fans coming on board and viewership. Or else he would have just straight up been banned from the tournament. Because how can a cheater be allowed to just, unless they want to create a villain.
Is this top player
unless
privilege?
They want, it could be top player privilege. It could be.
Top player privilege is real.
Because it is real.
Unfortunately.
You're right about that, baby. But I do think that there needs to be some kind of system in place here, because now all these other players that are beneath him, or that Blizzard maybe doesn't favor in a certain way, are watching this and now have made him the villain. So maybe this is something for fans to watch, or another reason for fans to watch and to have somebody to cheer against. That could be something.
Do you think that's punishment enough? Because I mean, obviously we've been over this before, and I think it's kind of unanimously decided by most gamers that cheating equals bad and you should be punished for it.
Hell yeah.
Right? So if there's no real, like, what is the punishment to a pro level player though? Is it going to be a fine? Is it a temporary?
What do you mean you're not a pro if you're cheating? You're not a pro if you
but he technically is good. It just, for some reason, I don't know why he did it anyways, but like, he just did this in this case.
Why would you do it if you're good enough to not have to do it?
So
it doesn't make any sense.
You are Blizzard now.
Yeah.
What should you do?
Oh wait, am I Blizzard thinking about the views that I want for this tournament?
You're just Blizzard.
And thinking about the money and thinking about what I want out of it?
What should the punishment be? Should, like, I believe fines, because they're professionals, hit them in the wallet, right? You know, take away from prize pools and that. But, you know, it's like, a lot of people would want bans.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I mean, okay, if it were like the like sports, the player would be fined, of course, and would be allowed to come back and play.
You're still giving me your side, though. Blizzard, make your decision.
No, if I'm Blizzard, I'm thinking about the money and the views. So fine, and he can play, because that's the way it's going to be. It means money, baby. It means views. Let's go. Now it's time to see what streamers are up to and clip it. Our first clip comes from Hob, who accomplished something that we will never be able to do.
So small, no hit run! We did it!
So context, for people that weren't following what he was doing, he just completed the first ever no-hit run of the entire series of games between Dark Souls and Bloodborne. If he got hit, he would reset. I think he did something like...
Did he cheat?
It was like 600 tries. Like he did 600 tries to get to this.
What?
And that stream that he did that one, it took him 12 hours because he has to take breaks because he's got tendinitis.
Yeah.
So like that is the first time ever anyone has done that.
Oh
Imagine getting to the end and getting hit and having to restart the
God.
whole freaking series again.
Yes, oh my God, especially against that final boss. Are you kidding me? That is all kinds of pressure. That's like next level. This is what the pros feel when they're on stage, people watching kind of pressure. Like, why would you do that to yourself, man? I mean, kudos, congratulations. I hope somebody bought you a steak dinner or something. Like, my God, that is incredible.
Oh, I'm sure the donos probably started rolling after that point.
Well,
like,
at least.
And I think he was compensated by his stream probably by subs and all that stuff. But congratulations again to him. That's nuts. We're forever going to never be that good.
Never.
All right, we're going to move on. Our next clip is from Clint Stevens, who had a little something to say about offline TV.
Pokimane was talking about me on stream. Whoa. I got invited to their house a really, really, really long time ago, when T-Pain was supposed to show up. And the funny thing is, they told me like 2 months in advance, they're like, hey, we got this thing with T-Pain. And I was like, you know, I'm not in LA right now, but I'd love to do that, that'd be sick, but probably can't. And then the funny thing is, 2 months later, they just happened to run into T-Pain. It's like, oh my God, we just found him on the side of the street. I thought that was funny as fuck. All those things are so fake, let me tell you guys.
Yeah, he's calling him out for being fake AF on offline TV. Now, I don't have an issue. I mean, like, here's the thing. Movies are clearly scripted.
Okay,
right? Like,
those are movies. Let's dial it back.
All of your jokes are clearly scripted.
Okay, first of all, I don't even make jokes, okay? Actually, Brody, honestly, let's keep
oh, wait,
this
you know
subject.
What day is it today? I'm supposed to be nice to you today.
You're so annoying. No, I already muted you. Like, I really regret that because I could have used it right now. No, honestly, yeah, offline TV is, of course, scripted. A lot of it is pre-planned. A lot of these YouTubers pre-plan a lot of their things. I think you would be quite naive and foolish to be going into any of these top YouTubers and thinking that any of this stuff is just random happening like that. That's not the way it works. That's not the way the world works. That's not the way reality TV works.
But is that deceptive?
I'm sorry.
I think that's deceptive. Here's the thing.
Yeah, of course, but we should be smart enough to understand that all of this is scripted.
If you set up but they try to play it off as if it's real, right? And that's where it's
they're playing a role.
Like I don't find that entertaining. Like
you watch
the subreddit scripted Asian gifs, like they're not funny because you know they're fake. They may have a good principle, but if they go in saying like, oh, this is fake, watch this skit. To me, that's funny now because you're not being fake about it.
Brody, they have the trouble of trying to bring eyeballs in constantly, of constantly trying to please their fans, their subscribers, their Patreoners, all that stuff. How do you do that daily and make it seem spontaneous? It's impossible. You think all those Instagrams that all these girls post, that I post, you think that happened that day? No, I took some photos earlier and I'm posting it again later and I'm taking the location. Like that's what has to happen. This is
say I took this the other day.
I do. I don't lie. I am honest about it.
But they are. That's the difference. You're a good person.
Aw.
They're not.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm sure they're all good people, but it is deceptive.
Anyway,
and that's the issue.
It's about that time where we discuss all the things the pros have been saying and sharing on Twitter with their profound thoughts. This one is a little less profound, but oh man, is it ever sad in that really, really pathetic kind of way. So he says, bravo, you won a Zoe quote tweet for this display of help me out here, internet. What shall we call this? So she's sharing some faceless idiot thinking he's hilarious when, let's be real, he's just a joke. He tweets, Zoe, you better watch out. It makes you look chubby and no one wants a fat girl on the OWL desk. Are you freaking serious, dude? Like this is what I mean. These guys with like
Can I mute myself? Because I'm ready for her to just go off.
They're ready for they have no avatars, okay? They just take a comment that she makes on her Twitter and decides like, oh, I've never had a conversation with a girl before in my life. I'm gonna say something, so she says something back. And she did. Yes, she did quote him and put him out there, but again, this man is a coward, assuming it's a man and not a little boy that has no idea how to deal with women or talk to women in any way. Do you have any idea how to have, I don't know, just a genuine conversation with a woman? Do you think that we want to be told how to dress, how to act, what to say? No, sorry, this isn't like way back when. This is not that world anymore. This is a professional woman doing her job, and she can wear whatever the F she wants to wear. So shut up.
I mean, I think he did it to get the attention. You just gave it to him.
Obviously, which is why I'm not giving him a name. I deleted the name from my rant.
How about when people do this to you, ignore them? People are being meatheads.
I do. Them. For the most part, I do. If they're just overtly idiotic in that way and cowardly, I usually don't give cowards a platform to shine because, well, they're cowards.
Good speech. You did a great job. I have nothing else to add.
Do not patronize me, Brody Moore.
I'm not patronizing. I'm saying I got nothing.
Because he's going to get it next.
Now she's making things up.
That was patronizing, the way you said it to me. Yes, it was.
For something completely different, K-Brad is dead-ass asking the NRS community to be completely honest with him. If I play MK11 and get cooked by one of you NRS boys, and y'all going to tell me to take my ass back to Capcom?
Yo,
I mean, it's funny, but like he's like it got a good point though. It's like if he's played a game and people tell him to leave, how are you going to grow your community? Like, shouldn't they be like wanting people to come in?
No, I feel like he's just setting himself up because like obviously he knows he's probably not going to do the best in the community just yet, but he still is a personality in the Street Fighter community, in the FGC, he's a staple, and he's still got to remain relevant in some way. So he's going to maybe jump to that whole scene, try it out for a second, just see how he does in Mortal Kombat, why not? But he's just concerned that maybe that community might kick his ass back to Street Fighter. Whatever, putting it out there just in case.
He already knows he's going to get his butt whooped, but like, I know, I believe that trash talk has to happen. Again, we all know that's what makes the FGC, right?
And we love them so much for it. And now for something completely different, but something we can all empathize with. Don't lie. Don't lie. League of Legends Pro Amazing enlightens us with true bravery is to attempt to fart when you have diarrhea. Brody!
I already got it all out before. I tried.
But you don't have to. You're not diarrheal.
Diarrheal? No. I have full control over my butt. Full control of that butt. I've never had a fart that I knew I couldn't handle. I'm a fart master. I'm trying to pump out as many quotes as possible.
Now I'm kind of wondering like what happened for him to, like obviously he's diarrheal. But for him to have tweeted that, like it is true bravery. So like I feel like something might have happened.
You brought this up, so I'm like, have you been in a situation where you've had that close call? Like,
listen, just like don't lie. Just don't lie. Like we've all been in that scenario where like maybe we've eaten some things that we shouldn't have eaten, and maybe we should just think at ease if we feel like we need to release something that maybe shouldn't be released unless you're near a toilet.
All right.
That's all.
I'm going to have to teach everyone how to control their butts. But for now, we got to move on. It's time for Crowd Control. We got all the goodies from around the web. Now, I want to start things off light with a fun post from Flick1533 on Reddit. He's been converting people's gamer tags to logos just for fun. When you take a look at these, I want to point out my favorites, of course, is Chatter Tie. It's like a TIE fighter that's talking a lot. That's brilliant. And Triangle. Even Triangle got a badass logo.
Okay. Can we possibly submit our gamer tags?
Well, this post blew up, so his inbox is definitely a little overrun right now. I was actually thinking about messaging him, but I'm like, nah, he won't get back to see if he can get one done up for us. But what would MRob be? Like, I've been trying to think, like what?
I don't know, you always make fun of me for my gamer tag anyway, because you don't like that it's just my name. And then
there's a number in it?
No, you also shamed me with the number 2. Like, yeah, it's just MRob, but it's really like MRob29, because I love the number 29. But like, you think that numbers and gamer tags are dumb, and you shamed me. And so I like deleted it from my Twitter because of that, just so you're aware.
She actually does care about my opinion.
Well, yeah, but I mean, people have numbers in their gamer tags all the time, Brody. You don't need to make them feel that way.
Maybe I do. I'm on a crusade.
Okay, shut up. Let's move on now. We all know that in competitive games, there's always a meta game that lets you win, or there's always a game that nets you win. Nets you wins, baby. It comes to business, but what do you think this meta is to them? Zooty's Cafe has the answer.
Oh, yeah, of course. So you could either add more game-based content, you could fix your bugs and have server updates, maybe listen to the community, but everybody's opting for that last option. Add Battle Royale, baby. That is solving the gaming industry right now.
I know you're being facetious. Like, I know you're just joking.
There's a lot of sarcasm in my voice right now. Sarcasm. Sarcastic
I love how
undertones.
the emphasis on the ass in sarcasm.
I don't know. Do you? I mean, we talked about it bringing in a lot of people into the gaming world. Do you think maybe the Battle Royales are saving or making video games better? I mean, there is an argument for it. A lot of people say no and get the hay out of here.
Get the hay out of here. I haven't heard that one. Yeah, I feel like Battle Royale modes are bringing in eyeballs from the outside looking in, that's all. And they've done that. Like, Ninja's done that. I know you don't really like to talk about him that much, but he's done that. My nieces and nephews, like, they play Battle Royales. This is the first time they've gotten into video games, and that's their first experience with them. So this is going to be a whole generation of kids out there that only have ever really experienced this type of gameplay, which is why I need to emphasize now more than ever that I really think we need this Animal Crossing mixed with GTA Chinatown Wars and in a Battle Royale tower defense type scenario for our next amazing esport. I'm telling you, I will crush you all.
Most ambitious crossover of all time.
Thank you.
We'll see it happen, hopefully. Probably not. Anyway, it's time for our last post. We kind of chatted about this in our green room play before, but I'm bringing it old school with this monstrosity. Jesus. What's the battery life? We talked about the Game Gear having bad battery life.
Oh my gosh, so bad.
What is this thing gonna do? What are those? They got sticks, you got the magnifying glass with the light under it, you got the speakers at the bottom, the handles.
Like, what is the point? Honestly, you guys, what is the point of these? I don't get it. You have a Switch, don't you? You have a Switch.
No, but that's what we had to deal with back in the day.
No, that's why I had a Game Gear.
Yeah, but did Game Gear have those kind of accessories? That is why the Game Boy Color was the best handheld of all time.
I know, but see, I had this fight going on with my brother because my brother had the Game Boy and then he got a Game Boy Color, and I was always like, no, Game Gear is better. Like, I always made it seem like,
swaps out her batteries.
No, seriously, like, I would just lie the whole time because I wanted him to be jealous. And like the fact that it lit up and I could like play in the dark, that was my only selling point for the Game Gear. So don't hate on Game Gear, okay? It had its time.
That's true. That is kind of OP back in those days. I remember trying to like sneak in playing my Game Boy at night when I was supposed to be sleeping, and I'd have to find that one crack of light of coming from the hallway light into my bedroom to see. I'm like, there was one time we had extra mattresses at the end of my bed, like up against the wall, and I climbed on top of those to try. I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm trying to like see what cards I have. Like, I'm literally at the top of the door frame with this light crack. Oh, it was brilliant. And
I'm assuming you had a good time.
Oh,
it was a struggle.
I could never do that again.
No, of course not. That's just what we had at the time. But now that we have these other things like Switch, etc., and even the Vita, like, we don't need these types of contraptions. We don't need to mod anymore, people. We all right. Listen, let us know today who you think won the battle. Press what did you say, Brody? 480?
480 for her and 5 for me.
No, press 1 for me. We'll see you next time. Hit us up on our socials at Squad State. We'll see you Monday.
Block string, it can be really difficult to tell the difference. This should be a good matchup. Ooh! Oh! No, he didn't! Did you see that? The disrespect! Oh! Let's go!
Spree wants to push forward. Raucus gets a very tightly transcendent, and Spree pushes up. Dante over that high ground. Gonna be a rally. Soundberry now being used by the Rain. It was an Earth Shadow attack. Movement connects. That is huge! Oh no! The Rain! Well, they feel the Earth move under their feet. Heaven and Earth reverse themselves, and they find themselves losing their map. Move up, you animal! Doesn't matter because it's already been started up. Here we go. Famine going. The double mountains are the target. That's hard. G2 pushing mid. They have their realm warping. Their realm warp again. G2 are going into the base. The power buff though. They can get the recalls. How many can they stop? G2, you gotta stop them all. You gotta stop them all. They're in the base. G2 are looking for the win. Can they pull it off? The realm warp once again. The red wave goes out. They wait. The Nexus. No way! The Nexus tower to the one side. G2 get the first one, but Reckless and Interstate get in the back door. Oh my God! Let's go! Flipping way! You can do that to them!
Walks up and just finds something. Oh boy. Stan's gotta guess. Time to party. No, that's the delayed one. Maybe looking for backdash or something like that. Time to party. Oh! Party cup in hand. Here comes Itazan. Walking down. Yep. Taking a big old gulp of that party juice.
Yeah. Because you have to see why you play cello.
It's a lot like playing cello in a marching band.
Yeah. Oh!
Oh, that's great.
Well,
I love it.
Oh, pancake! Ooh. Get up. Chad with the safe pressure.
Trying to fight back.
Oof.
Running two.
Oof. Joey gonna start trying to tighten it up here, play safe.
Got the starburst in his hands.
Joey not even trying to duck the second hit there. Oh, this is danger zone.
Joey's just trying to kill him at this point. He doesn't want to deal with anything.
I think he's telling Shadow, you're not going to be able to do enough damage with lows.
It's like you got to come.
Oh, he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to.
Are you kidding? Oh my God, oh my God, it's kidding!
Left game, left back. About to reverse 3-0 with his
No, don't let this happen, Blake.
Keitaro can't believe it.
Hit him with the fair footstool. Oh no.
Oh my God, he could have sniped
I don't know. Oh no.
He knew it.
Oh no.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
If he didn't grab the ledge there, it would have been really dangerous.
This is impossible to commentate.
It actually is.
This is just a scream challenge.
Ooh, try to get the grab after falling there.
All right.
Oh my God, so much percent.
What? Oh my God! No way! Kamehameha! He got the tech! He's still dead! He's still dead! Reverse 3-0! If they follow up on that one, the rain, that would be huge. EMP now thrown into the mix, and immediately Raucus has to go for the Transcendence. Pokeball is knocked down. He's still being healed though. He's staying alive. The right half of the Atlanta Rain stands, and he gets through with one swing. Well, that's one way to send a message. And the Atlanta Rain will take the series, solidify their spot in the playoffs.
It worked finally. Johnny being able to take it on this. Not enough.
Quite stunned, but look at the damage difference. Oh, okay, here we go.
Oh, this is doable.
Time.
It's doable.
And
Johnny, what's the response defensively?
One more hit into a combo, into critical art, and that's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, the overhead into. Oh, he doesn't even need it.
I'm gonna keep practicing my Smash game so my play can make it in Plays of the Week. Hopefully, I'm gonna cross my fingers. Let us know if your favorite play made it in at Squad State on all of our socials across the board. In a bit, we have Mercer and Zurich, who's gonna be talking CWL in esports in 30 with MoMo and Slack. That should be good. But first, let's check out what went down in the green room earlier today.
Watch your health, dude. Yeah, I know, and I have no health. Like, I have no healing items. Like, this is just my life now.
And you haven't hit a checkpoint or something.
Like,
you been alive, dude. Bro, good freaking luck.
Alright, like a sliver of health.
Get those dots.
Yeah, this game is made by the developers of Dark Souls. Okay, come on.
There's the dodge, yep. Oh, too far.
Didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, no, good call though, good call. Maybe smoke bomb?
You're right.
At least you get one hit in.
Oh, come on. The range on this is stupid.
Yes.
Welcome to Esports in 30, where we take a deeper dive into all your favorite esports. Today, brace yourselves for gunfight and drama because it's Call of Duty, baby. I'm Marissa Roberto, and the man sitting to my left is Zurich Erebuela, and we're both so hyped to talk Fort Worth. You like how I added a little Italian twist to your last name?
Yeah, it's more Spanish, but it's okay.
You know what, Zurich?
It's okay.
Whatever, man. How did you have a COD this weekend?
It was amazing. That tournament was just unpredictable, and not even just the tournament, the entire aftermath of it was insane.
Yeah, you and I definitely were tea-sipping, reading some of those tweets, and just on Reddit, my God,
amazing.
So much. And the beautiful copy pasta that JCap has given us to use forever and always. But we've got a friendo calling in to give us their insight on the actual tournament itself. And until then, let's get fired up with some highlights.
It's a 2v1 with 15 seconds left. It's down to the new man. It's down to Dylan. 1v1. Dylan has to reload. 22 out there. Where's the gunfight?
BZ now the only guy up. One of the hardest gunfights in the game to try and take him off a bomb, but he wins one. He's on it though. He's halfway through and he slides in, kills him off of it, and that's all he needed to do.
Lambo, 30 seconds remaining. Accuracy's picking up kills on the players by Rock. That's going to slow the pressure from the front. MoMo though. Tempest is up. Wait a minute! What? A goes in. Kenny able to get another one! Kenny going huge. He's close to streaks, and this could be it. Reciprocity just have to race in, but Kenny lights him up!
He's straight back in it. Speaking of Chino, here he is. Trying to turn things around. A couple of kills back to back. Potential for some streaks if he's able to find the kill mid-map. He's going to have to heal though. Hardpoint still contested. 85. One more will do it. Ask and you shall receive. Chino! That's a bad, bad man if you ever seen one.
One player left standing. It's Dashy. He does get. Oh my God! What a snipe! 1v1. 15 seconds to work with. Spots him. Guns him. What a play from Dashy!
But he's close enough, Ben. I think Response can be able to close this out right now.
Oh, what a shot!
Dylan is disgusting.
What a shot!
Dylan is. That's what you picked him up for.
Attach lines up a pair. One player left in Kenny.
He's down.
He's got a clutch.
Down. Oh, he gets away. But they line up. It's a 1 versus 1. And he gets him.
Kenny! Gunless now in with the help. They only need 2 seconds. That may do it. There's one player remaining. He is dead. And there's the championship. Your CWL Fort Worth 2019 champs. Luminosity.
Fort Worth gave us a lot to talk about, and so has the aftermath. So who better to help us than Caster Phillip? MoMo Whitfield, how goes it, buddy?
So far, so good. I'm getting after that post-LAN blues, if you like. I'm a little bit sad it's over, but it was a great event. I'm happy to look forward to London now, and yeah, it was a great event.
I mean, for sure, yeah, post-LAN blues, but I guess we really didn't have any blues. We didn't have a chance to have the blues because the COD scene just gives us so much to hold on to. So I have to ask you straight up, are you COD burner?
I was asked this question actually multiple times during the actual event. My answer still remains no, sadly, and yeah, that's as simple as that. I have too many things going on to have that much time to dedicate to that.
Fair enough.
All right.
Just like stirring the pot. I love that you guys have a gossip
That's what the COD
girl.
burner would say, right? Surely? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's very sus, very sus.
Deny.
Yeah, all right, let's get into it. We're going to start with LG, obviously.
For sure.
Gunless was just, you know, doing gunless things.
Yeah.
What do you think did the squad do right in this event that made them such a dominant force?
There's a couple of things with Luminosity. Obviously, their Pro League, they didn't have the best Pro League. They were pretty much neutral across the board. But going into Fort Worth, we saw Classic with the Rampart kind of changing the meta straight up. He was very comfortable. We saw him kind of skyrocketing his stats individually. but I do feel it was just kind of a coming together of what everyone knew LG had. You know, when LG made this roster, it was all about these 5 players, you know, the amount of talent on this roster. And we didn't see it at we didn't see it at Vegas. We didn't see it really in the Pro League. But it was just like Gunless at his best, formal, you know, proving everyone wrong. Even John, you know, John in specific game modes was incredible. And I think it was very hard to stop. There's a few kind of mishaps along the way. They didn't have to play everyone, shall we say, 100 Thieves, Optic Gaming. But, you know, credit where credit is due. They certainly were the best team.
Fair enough, and they take home that trophy, of course. But we should talk about Splice because they must be frustrated. Like, 10 has insane numbers. The team seems like it's kind of greater than some of its parts. So they almost fell to Reciprocity's losers run. So how exactly did they get over the final hurdle of winning that match in an 0-2 scenario?
Splice, it's a tough one with Splice. You know, Jerd is the only European on there. I'm always rooting for him, obviously an ex-teammate of mine. And it just seems like they can dispatch a team so easily. But when it kind of comes to that final hurdle, you know, it's winning that championship. And I don't think they played, you know, specifically bad. I just think they were outclassed on the day. I've got a lot of high hopes for Splice going into the likes of London, cross-divisional play in Pro League as well. But they definitely have that talent on that roster to win a championship this year. What was the question about Reciprocity, sorry?
Oh, well, I mean, I just wanted you to give us your overview of Splice and maybe what they must be feeling because of, how they almost fell to Reciprocity.
It's tough. I think with Reciprocity, they had an insane run. Again, every single game kind of went to that game 5. I don't want to say it's luck. I want to kind of give them that kind of X-Factor clutch, if you like. You know, these guys came out on top so many times. But again, going up against Splice, it's tough for them, but I think they exceeded expectations, them being Reciprocity. Splice, though, they have to keep hungry. They have to keep going and chasing that kind of first place, that trophy, and obviously the big check as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, let's move on to Reciprocity because we're talking about them already. They lost to Enigma 6, I think, very early, and then they just went through every single game 5, beat UIU, Genji, 100 Thieves, then Red Reserves, and then finally losing to Splice in a very, very tight game. Was there a single player or something that kind of stood out for you in what they were doing?
Yeah, I think there definitely was. I was lucky enough to cast, I think it was the Saturday night. It was like midnight, and they lost to E6 3-0, and I was like, okay, that was a quick game. Back to bed, back to the hotel. And then from there, it might have even been a Friday night, but they just kept getting pushed. And the reason that I think it kept going to the game 5s is they were going up against tough competition. I don't think Reciprocity were a team that just kind of wiped teams away like your Splice, your LG, your Optics or of such. But I do think the change that they made between, obviously, Vegas and now was the change from Dens, the Australian player, and brought in Dylan, which was another new kind of up-and-coming UK-based player. And he kind of had, you know, this different type of energy towards him. And I think that kind of radiated through his squad. We saw, obviously, him and Wuskins going off together. Yeah. We saw him and Zed kind of battling it back in 2. But it was always him and someone. And I think he was kind of the shining star of the roster. But he's surrounded by great players. Tommy's probably one of the most experienced European Call of Duty player there is right now. And he's just fit right in. And sometimes, you know, it is kind of that piece of the puzzle that they needed. And it just fits so perfectly. But again, it's just such tough competition. How do they keep going to those game 5s and winning? I was actually a little worried because that can't happen every time. You know, you're going to go to those game 5s and you're going to lose. You know, you need to close it out in 3 or 4 sometimes.
I do want to talk about this twin rivalry, though, because it just makes me so happy, especially seeing their back and forth on Twitter, constantly on each other, but also supporting each other so much. But I have to ask, though, do you have a favorite twin?
Oh, it would be unfair to pick. First of all, I will say I love both of them. They're at the very top of social media. Yes. For me, like if someone says, who do I follow in the Call of Duty scene? You know, I'm straight to Scraps and Wuskins. For sure. And I also love kind of the banter back and forward between them. But I've also never seen, you know, two brothers get along so well. You know, I feel a lot is kind of a front for Twitter, as in, you know, they're going at it. But as soon as they lose or as soon as something happens, it's all love, it's all friendship. I think Scraps actually tweeted, you know, you learn so much from playing someone like your brother. For sure. And I also like how it's 1-1 now. You know, they're tied up, they beat each other once. So I'm excited for the rematch. But both definitely characters. I couldn't pick a favorite. That's a tough question.
I was just setting you up to fail there.
But no, yeah, both are very different, both very unique, but both were great players too.
All right, let's move on to 100 Thieves that finally seemed like they pulled it together. They had insane search and destroy stats, and then Pharaoh took over Priesta after he threw up.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, is he okay?
He's okay now. I'm very good friends with Priesta's girlfriend, actually, and I was kind of chatting to her. She was distraught, bless her. But yeah, going back to the original point, 100 Thieves, it was almost theirs to win, I feel. And, you know, with Optic falling very soon, United dropping out, I was like, this is the chance for 100 Thieves to just make that grand final, you know, make it into the spotlight. And then I come in, I think it was Sunday morning, I hear the news about Priesta, who I very much compared to the likes of Dylan, you know, on Reciprocity. He is that kind of crazy X factor that goes off. Stuff like this happens, and it really, really does suck. I hope, obviously, I mean, he's got to be fine for the next one. I think it was just like a weekend thing. But again, I think Pharaoh got a little bit of unnecessary hate. You know, if he wasn't there, they forfeit games. You know, that's what it was like when I was back in when I was a player. Luckily, they had you know, Pharaoh to even jump in and try and play, and credit to him, he tried his best. But that's never going to work. When you drop a player, you know, that you don't want them in the team, and then suddenly they're sat next to you, you're playing against the best in the world. It's never going to end well.
I do want to get into a little bit of the drama that happened afterward. Obviously, like, it's just a lot of back and forth on Twitter, and really, like, for me as a fan looking in, it gives us so much tea to sip. MoMo, like, we are loving every second of it. But to get to the basics, I watched Clay's vlog that he put out yesterday, because he just wanted to clear the air. But like on your end of things with the casters, because I see the casters jumping in as well in it, because they want to get in on the fun too.
It's pretty funny.
It's all juicy.
It's so juicy.
It's juicy.
Like for you guys, obviously you know the relationships. You have a closer understanding of what these guys are going through on stage, off stage. Like for you guys, what is this drama like for you? Do you want more of it? Do you want to see this kind of fizzle out and not have it aired out on Twitter this way?
I think good drama is great. I think this one is very specific, and I've kind of followed it on Twitter. I never try and jump in too much. It's not my kind of place to do that. I love good drama, you know, teams and rivalries and going at it. But when it's teammates, I feel like I almost get that awkwardness, and I'm like, this needs to stop. Like, this should be dealt with behind closed doors. But I also understand for, you know, your average viewer, you know, this is what's going to keep them glued to their screen. They want to know. I was starting to watch Clay's video this morning, actually, before jumping on board with you guys. And he said something about picking a side. And I think that's what I dislike about it in a way, which it splits fans. But also, you know, if Cap goes on one team and they play United, that's going to be such a good game. And there's good points, there's bad points. I wish some of it wasn't on Twitter, but again, for my job, I stay out of it. I sneakily read it all and enjoy the good bits, I guess.
Fair enough.
Momo, to close things out, we just have a few quick fan questions for you. So this is from KSeason89. What team or teams had the most surprising performances at Fort Worth?
Fort Worth, 100% Luminosity. Was the biggest surprise for me. But on the other end of the scale, United and Optic, you know, one great, two very poor performances. Looking across the board, though, a lot of roster changes happened. Things like Midnight, Accelerate, everything kind of blew up. So I'm really disappointed we didn't get to see kind of how good Midnight would be. But the biggest surprise for me was Luminosity doing so good, and Optic United kind of falling off. Shout out to Reciprocity. Again, third place for these guys. I didn't expect that either.
Oh my God, and just so many amazing storylines that we can take now just moving forward. I do have another one here from _Benji_. How hard is it for you guys to have a positive mental mind state with how negative the COD community can actually be? What do you do to overcome the negativity?
There is obviously negativity everywhere. I think one thing you've got to do is kind of check why you're here. I always say to myself, the reason that I move across the world, do this as a job is because I love it, and I just kind of direct my passion in terms of the games and the players. And as I'm casting this game and during a match, like something will happen and I'll freak out like I'm a fan. You know, I still am a fan of this game and I still love, you know, the whole franchise itself. So I just, as simple as it sounds, block out the negativity, focus on the good stuff, and always kind of remember, you know, why you started this and why you do what you do, really.
Oh my gosh, amazing life advice. Perfect way to end things with you, Momo. Thank you so much for joining us today. That was spicy. I'm glad you were here to break it all down.
Thank you very much for having us. It's been a lot of fun, and excited for CWL London. But yeah, thank you very much for having me.
But you didn't think we just had one guest, did ya? Heck nah. We've got a super special man calling in just 1 second. Who? Well, this montage might give you a little hint.
10-5 now. Fuller finds one. Slacked. Oh my. With a great two-piece.
It's only 6v5 for Slacked. He's got the grab slap. He's just waiting. And here it is. We'll find two.
Here, grapple will use. Jurnak will come in. Jurnak will go down.
Slack finds two. Aqua gets ripped. 1v1 now. Inside of Benzi comes out and Slack takes the gunfight.
Formal, a little bit underperforming. There's no way to shoot right now. That means Slack, sword in hand, slips and slides and finds himself with the double. And for Luminosity, Slacked is going
E6, they got a flood, and now Slacked has a grab slam to go over top. Gonna use it to find one. Shuts down the second, gets the streaks, and they get the game.
Quick contest, can Slack hold on the point? He does get Looney. Also finds Jerd, nice two-piece for him again.
This man seems unstoppable right now. Grab Slam comes in and Slacked. He's putting a new name on the Slack Slam here.
It's just not enough time to defuse anyway.
And Slack wins the gunfight in the end. Here it is, perfect positioning for the Slack Slam. He connects with two.
Sushi with the contest comes in, Grab Slam finds the double, and Slack finds two.
Focus on the elbow push, high up the sky, and there's two.
45, you got Slack mid back, wins the first gunfight, has the teammates for the help. The bait is gonna be there.
7.87 seconds, the flank is on. Slack finds a double, Slack could have found three.
Your CWL Forward 2019 champs, Luminosity.
He held that trophy high in Texas as Luminosity Gaming walked away the champ of Fort Worth. Welcome, the one, the only, Slacked. How's it going?
Hi, how you doing?
Good, good. We're so happy to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations again, by the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Let's get into it. So you just popped off in the grand finals there. What happened? Did you toggle aimbot on?
Yeah, we just flipped the switch, honestly. The tournament was going good for us. I think came Sunday, we really kicked up as a team. I started playing really well individually, and so did the team, and we took home the trophy.
Well, Splice took a game from you guys from, I mean, I guess during pools. What did you learn from that loss to actually help you for the finals?
Going into the match versus them in pool play, it was kind of like a match that didn't really mean anything considering we were already 2-0, they were 2-0, and it was just for first or second in the pools. And we knew if we won or lost, like I said, we were still coming out, and we didn't want to really like reveal, I guess, too much of what we did and like show our strong suits. So we just kind of went into it with, you know, whatever happens, happens. If we won it, we won it. If we lost it, we weren't going to stress and be upset with each other. And I think that really showed in the finals. We played a similar map set, and we ended up winning all the maps that we really lost, so can't really complain there.
I love that. Do you guys have just that kind of camaraderie with your team where you just always try to keep your head above water, like don't stick in the drama at all? When you guys finish your matches, what is your camaraderie like? Like, are you bigging each other up, or do you guys stay silent? How does it work for you guys?
Honestly, yeah, it's really important to pick each other up and just like keep the vibes good. I think in Call of Duty, it's like super important just because it's such a momentum game. If you start and playing really well as a team and doing really well together, you kind of just ride that momentum through the whole tournament, and that's kind of just really important when you're at a tournament. Like I said, just keep the vibes high. You know, make sure you're gassing everyone up, telling everyone they're playing great, and making sure that communication's there with your teammates. And usually the weekend goes good when you do that.
So you guys kind of had a bad start in the pro league, but what kind of mindset do you need to have? I mean, did you guys have leading up to the event to pull yourself back together?
We had a really bad start, I guess, to the pro league because we just weren't playing well together. We were honestly considering like a roster change, and towards the end of it, we kind of used that time as a place really to just put our thoughts together, how we're going to play the game, if we're going to continue teaming or whatnot. And to end the pro league, we actually ended 3-1 in our last 4 matches. So we kind of rode off that momentum, like I said, going into Fort Worth, and we knew what we were capable of, and we kind of put everyone's like ego check aside. So we need to start putting in a lot more hard work, watching VOD together, going over other teams before we play them, things like that. And we just, like I said, did all of that going into Fort Worth, studied the teams that we were going to be playing in pool play, and then obviously studied the teams that we were going to be playing in bracket play each night before we played them, and that really helped, and I think that showed at the tournament.
I mean, hell yes. I mean, not to mention you've got a boy like Gunless just popping off. How does it feel to play alongside him when he's just going off like that?
It feels really good. He's probably one of the most talented teammates I've ever had individually to team with, and I don't know, just what he brings to the table is really important. I think he's got things he is working on as far as just bringing the communication and helping being a better teammate, but I think he's just incredible talent-wise, and that brings so much firepower to the team as far as just confidence, knowing someone's always going to do good and bring up those really good stats and stuff like that. So it definitely helps having that on our team.
How do you feed his fire? Because some players are kind of like, you have to just leave them alone. Yeah. They're on fire already. You don't do anything to them.
You say nothing.
Yeah, you say nothing. Yeah. But some players you kind of have to be like, pat in the back. Good job, good job. What type of character is he?
Honestly, like I said, we just gas him up. We just send him good vibes and tell him, you're doing good, whatever, like mid-map, or we just tell him to keep doing what he's doing. I mean, if he's dropping those numbers, like you said, sometimes you don't need to say anything. Sometimes you want to hear, words of maybe affirmation, telling him he's doing great and to keep it up or whatever. But I mean, other than that, it's nothing too crazy. I mean, he's just a teammate like everyone else in the squad, and we just, try and keep that riding through the tournament.
I love that. His love language is words of affirmation. Okay, so Classic was really defying the meta. Why did he stick out the Rampart?
Honestly, it was something we looked at online a little bit. We kind of tested out the gun, and we knew it would be all right, but we didn't think it would be as good as it was. And Friday, he wasn't really using it. Saturday, he pulled it out when we started our bracket matches. And he had a really crazy good map with it. And when he did that, he was like, I'm going to use this the rest of the tournament. We were like, all right, go for it. Whatever's working for you, we're not going to stop you, obviously. So go for it. And he started using it the whole tournament, kind of changed the meta. I think it was honestly in people's heads because it was kind of a thing, a gun people aren't using. And they did a listen in with Splice, and they were just calling out the player and what gun he had. And no one really ever does that. So I think it was just a kind of tilting factor to other teams, and we just rode with it.
I like that. So do you hope that this gun stays then in the meta?
Yeah, I mean, I do for my teammates' sake. I don't use the gun personally. I don't think anyone else does on our team, but it's kind of, at this point, whatever my teammate wants to run, and if he wants to use it, go for it. If not, it is what it is. None of us use it, like I said, other than him. So we'll kind of see where that one goes.
Okay.
What a supportive teammate.
I love it. Yeah. Words of affirmation.
Yeah, very good, very good. So you kind of have a reputation for being kind of just under the radar.
A little quiet.
Yeah, because the COD scene is very loud, I guess.
Well, certain members of the COD scene are very loud.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, do you like that reputation that you have?
Yeah, just staying below that radar.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to try and not get involved with too much drama. It doesn't really interest me, and if people are popping off on Twitter or arguing about whatever it is, it just never really seems worth it to me to hop into it. So I usually just kind of stay low key and just do my thing.
Do you low key take a side though when you stay low key?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what it is, but I mean, usually someone's arguing a better side, I would say. It just, everyone's got their points and arguments for whatever it is, and kind of got to pick one side, I guess, right?
Okay, I'll let you keep it still low-key and won't dive too deep into it. I do want to talk more about your team, obviously, because I just want to know how you guys are so flawless on control.
Honestly, there was a game mode since Vegas. Vegas, I think we went 1-6 on it. It was like our worst game mode at the entire tournament. And then transitioning over to the Pro League and into this. At the Pro League, we only lost one control. We went 6-1. And then at the event, I think we went like 6 or 7-2, something like that. So our overall count on it was like 12-2, 13-2, something like that. We just really focused and broke the game mode down, kind of played to our strong suits. It's a game mode you can really do anything you want, really. You can kind of get a lot of kills, or you can play for the capture points, and I think we just figured that out over most teams. Really know when we have to, play for the points and capture, or when you need to play the kills. And I think we found a really good way to like maneuver the map, basically spawn people in certain areas, and like I said, just playing to our strong suits. And I think we just found a comfortable median for that, and right now we're just ahead in it.
Yeah, now we have to talk about the Slack Slam.
Slack Slam!
Because all the casters were popping off every time you would get like two to three kills, and every time you use it. How do you feel about this skill being your new trademark?
Honestly, I think it was like at the Pro League when I got like the meme for the Slack Slam. It was just because I missed several grab slams there, and it was because I hadn't really used the specialist too much. After Vegas, like I said, we switched up all our stuff. And I had a lot of work to do individually of just when to use it in certain situations. I hadn't played Search and Destroy with it too much, and that's where it was happening. But basically at the tournament, I had more practice under my belt. I had about a month and a half of practice with it, and really found out when to use it, when it, it's necessary and things like that. Started figuring that out, and it became pretty easy.
Slacked, our time is running short, but before you go, we want to squeeze in just one fan question off social media for you. This is from Gomez USA. How does it feel to overcome the challenges you guys face when people doubted you?
It definitely feels good. I think proving people that, are just hating on you all the time, it definitely feels good. It's a self-motivator for myself and definitely my teammates, and I think we're happy with where we are right now, but we're not going to let up. We're going to keep trying to win championships and go from here.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Slack. Again, congrats on the huge win in Texas, and best of luck throughout the rest of the Pro League and beyond.
Perfect. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Love him so much. Positivity. Keeping it on the positive. We're going to get to your player of the tournament, Zurich.
It has to be Gunless. He was phenomenal that entire weekend. 1.27 KD.
Yeah.
Very consistent throughout the entire tournament, and I mean, he's our Canadian boy.
He is a Canadian boy. Love him so much. But Zurich, I have to say to you though, like you specifically, I just don't like you anymore, and I think you're the most arrogant and self-centered person I've ever met.
I mean, is this your segue?
Yeah, segue. We're just doing a little tea sipping, of course, because the whole COD community after this tournament was on Reddit and on Twitter and just going back and forth because of the gossip girl in the Call of Duty community. So CODburner put out a post basically, pitting teammate against teammate. This is all happening within United.
Accusations everywhere.
Accusations being made. And then JCap took to Twitter as well and was kind of putting Clay on blast, and Clay responded. And then finally, JCap gave us this wonderful tweet that is just being copy-pasted on every single thread ever, just basically admitting, like, you know what, maybe it wasn't you, and it was Burns. Okay, yeah, basically I just don't like you, and you're the most arrogant and self-centered person I've ever met.
You memorized that tweet already.
Well, it was a good one. And it's also copy-pasted everywhere.
Yes.
So just quickly, Zurich, with ingesting all the information that's been going on, how do you feel about it? Do you like it?
I love it.
Oh,
I love it. It makes me look forward to the next event. I just want to see where this is going to lead. I don't like that it kind of splits everybody, like the fans apart, but,
Right.
That's
what
happens.
I do like that JCap, I mean, in the end was like, yeah, just think for yourselves. And honestly, Clay did the same thing. He put a vlog out there as well if you want to check it out. He's basically just saying, yeah, I don't want the drama. It's just kind of, especially teammate against teammate, it's not cool at all. And just think for yourselves, everybody. Like, don't take sides. This is a hive mind scenario that always happens. Read everything. It's just best if we just, from the outside looking in, don't point fingers. Let them sort it out themselves and just enjoy sipping the tea. That's all. And that's all we're going to continue to do over here. COD Talk has been spicy, as always, with you, Zurich. Thank you so much to MoMo and Slack for calling in. Thank you, of course, for sitting down with me, and thank you at home for watching. Make sure to join us next week to tune in for your next dose of Squad. You can hit us up on all the socials at Squad State, and we'll see you there.
Speaking of COD, I actually just checked out the trailer for Ancient Evil, and I'm down for more zombie action. I can't wait to play that. Remember, we're back on Monday starting at 1 p.m. Eastern with with gameplay live in the green room, so you don't want to miss that. As well, at 8 o'clock Eastern on Monday, we have more Unmuted, as well as Matt and Lisa are going to talk League in esports in 30. Remember to check out our socials in the meantime at Squad State, and on YouTube we have all of our VODs there in case you missed anything. Thank you guys for watching, have a good weekend, and we'll see you Monday.